Hello, friends. I want to take a few minutes to talk to you about how to set up your workspace at home and to make things run as smoothly as possible. So you might be working at an easel, you might be working on a tabletop. I'll try to cover both these scenarios so that you're prepared when it comes time to paint. So the first thing you want to do is locate a space in which to work. So top suggestion is to find yourself a really big painting studio with lots of indirect natural light and maybe a loft for storage that you won't have to share with anyone else. If you can find one of these, this is great. This is mine. And if you can lock the door and keep people out, that's even better. It's great also if you have someone who will come in and change your trash and things like that. If this is not an option, you'll want to find a space that has decent light and as much ventilation as you can find. As far as lighting goes, just an overhead room light that can work. Small lamps and floor lamps, these might be great for reading, but they're not great for painting. If you have natural light, sunlight, that's ideal, but you can get by without it. As far as ventilation goes, the more ventilation you have, the better. However, all the products I'm suggesting, from the paints to the mediums to the solvents, these are relatively low fume. They're the most healthy options that are on the market. And the biggest problem with ventilation comes when you're sanding paint anyways. The general rule of thumb is the most ventilation you can get, the better off you are. So I guess the perfect world, you have a hole in your ceiling, so you get a lot of natural light and then also good ventilation. Okay, so ideally, you can find a place that you can set everything out and you don't have to clean it up every time. So places like a folding table in a spare bedroom, maybe a clean, dry basement, a garage. These are all good places to work. And if that just isn't an option for you, that's fine. You can work in your bedroom or dorm room. You could work at a kitchen table. You could work in a screen-in porch, something like that. That's fine. You just might need to set everything up and then take everything down when you're done. It's not the end of the world. If you're working at a kitchen table, it's a good idea to have some kind of a tarp or a piece of cardboard or something down so you don't get your painting supplies directly on the table. If you have any questions or concerns about finding a space, you just let me know and I can maybe try to work with you to find a good place to work. Okay, so I want to talk about the things you're going to need to set out and have ready when it comes time to actually paint. So first, I'll show you how to set up if you're planning on working on a tabletop. Then I'll show you how to set up an easel. No matter what, you'll use the same items. So the things you're going to want are a surface on which to paint. This will be a canvas or a panel or something like that. You're going to want all of your paints, which I usually put in front of me if I'm working at a table. You're going to want all your brushes. I like to put them in a jar like this just to keep them upright. You'll need a palette knife. You're going to need your medium, Galkyd Light or your gloss medium, whatever you're using, your palette, and then a few rags. The surface that you're painting on should sit in front of you like so, and almost everything else should be at your dominant hand. This is my dominant hand, so I keep my stuff on this side. If you're right-handed, it goes on the right side. If you're left-handed, it goes on the left side. Simple as that. I usually keep my rags on my non-dominant hand side so I can mix a color, load my brush. I can come over here and I can shape my bristles or wipe off extra paint, and then I can get down to business and go hard in the paint. So if you're working at an easel, it's basically the same thing. You'll need all the same materials, plus you'll need an easel to set your canvas on. You'll need some kind of table or something to set your stuff on. This in the studio we call a taboret. You can use a table, you can use a car if you're in a garage, you could use a folding table, you could use a stool or a chair or something like that. Something that's pretty sturdy that you can set, that's big enough that you can set your stuff on. And again, it should be on your dominant hand side. So if you are right-handed, it should be on your right side. If you're left-handed, it should be on your left side. As far as canvas height goes, it should be that the middle of your canvas is shoulder height. It could be a little bit lower, but not, you don't really want it higher. So the middle of your canvas is shoulder height. That way the canvas isn't way up here and you're reaching way up here, and it's not way down here and you're reaching down low to do your painting. You don't want to have to reach. And that's really it. So if there's any questions or concerns, or you have any thoughts about like your unique space, the way you're working doesn't really fit with what I said, you can send me an email and I will work with you specifically to get your space set up in the best way possible. So have a good day. Thank you for your time. Talk to you later. Goodbye.